Wow, long time no vlog. Anyway, today is October 1st and it's a Thursday. And today is not your typical Thursday, at least not for me, because normally I would be working in my office today. But I took the day off because I wanted to have a day of me time where I just get to do all the creative things that I want to do. Just basically have a day where I can do whatever I want. I'm not cooking anything, I'm not cleaning anything, I'm not doing anything that I have to do. I'm just doing things that I want to do. So I've been looking forward to this day for a while now. It's October 1st. So why did I take today off of all the days? Lots of reasons. For one, I'm in the middle of working on my hotel story, so I am very close to the 20,000 word mark. I've been working on it, steadily chipping away at the manuscript for the last few weeks, and I'm almost at the 20,000 word mark. But this story, which I conceptualized now almost a year ago, actually starts, like, the first day of the story is on October 1st. Originally, when I was conceptualizing this story, it was going to be October 1st, 2020. But you all know what's happened with the world since then. So, like, basically the events that were supposed to happen, like, wouldn't realistically be able to happen in 2020. So I'm not quite sure what year it's going to be on. It's still present day. Maybe the year kind of does matter. So I might do like 2017 or something, just a year that's passed that I don't have to worry about, like, what's going to happen next year or whatever. It's all good. The specific year is not significant necessarily to the present timeline. It's more like other things that happen. Anyway, so today feels symbolic because it is the first day that my story takes place. It's also the first day of October, which is just, like, I think is starting to become my favorite month. Just, loving fall, loving the leaves changing and everything like that. So I'm really excited about today. And also, it's the first day of Inktober, which, if you are an illustrator on the interwebs, you probably have heard of Inktober. It's basically like they give you a prompt every day. I'll put the prompts here. They give you a prompt every day for the month, and you have to draw something related to that prompt, regardless of your skill level. Now, I am by no means an illustrator of any sort, but me and my boyfriend are, like, really excited. We really want to try Inktober this year, and so he's going to do drawing every day. I'm going to do, like, different things every day. So, like, one day I might draw. Another day I might write a scene that has to do with that prompt. Another day I might paint something or do embroidery or whatever the heck. Like, I'm just trying to, like, really get in touch with other sides of my creativity this month. And so, yes, today's prompt is the word fish. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to wait until he's home from work before we engage in that. And I'm going to Barnes & Noble today. I want to get a notebook for him, a drawing notebook for him, and also one for myself, because I have many notebooks, but none of them are, like, specific for drawing. Like, I have my old sketchbooks from art school, but I don't really feel like digging those out or using those for this. I just want something kind of small, and those are, like, really big sketchbooks. So I have a long list of things that I want to do today. I mentioned going to Barnes & Noble. I mentioned my hotel story, so I'm almost at the 20,000 word mark. Now, I was supposed to hit 20,000 words yesterday on the last day of September, and I only got to, like, 19,617, I think was the word count, because I'd written, like, 900 words yesterday. But I just hit it. Do you ever just hit, like, a wall where you're, like, all of a sudden so overcome with exhaustion that you just can't be bothered to do anything? So, like, while I probably could have written another scene for those last 500 or 400 words, I just got so tired that I couldn't be bothered, and I wasn't worried about it because I knew I had today off and I could just hit my word count today. So today, each day so I decided that I want to write 500 words every day of this story. Well, anyway, I'll talk more about hotel story when I get around to writing that. I have a long list of things I want to do today, so I'm really excited for you guys to come with me today and see what I get up to on my creative day. So first, to start the day off, I thought I'd do a quick OOTD, which is outfit of the day. Yeah, so I'm wearing this jumpsuit, which is really fun. Woo! I love this jumpsuit so much. It makes me feel, like, so whimsical and creative and, like, happy and stuff. Okay, so I just wanted to show you my word count log. So here we have the writing log purpose is Arttober, which is what I'm calling this month. Hotel story is the code word for this story. It's not the actual title, of course. So this is what I came into the month with, my word count. That's the current word count, so if I add any words. I haven't written any words today yet, so it's still the same number. And my goal is to increase my word count altogether by that much, 15,383, because I want to reach 35,000. And again, because I haven't written anything left, this is how many words I have left to write this month. I've set my goal really small because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself with like trying to hit these crazy word counts when like that's not necessarily how I want to approach this story. I really want this story to be for fun, but I'm also trying to establish a writing habit, so that's why I've set a relatively small goal for me of 500 words a day, or rather 496 point whatever, because that's just like a formula of what I need to write each day of these 31 days this month to hit my goal. And then here we are, Tuesday. Oh, it's not Tuesday. I have to fix these days. Today's Thursday, October 1st. And I think this is from last year, October. I didn't change the last year. October started on a Tuesday. So that's what I'm starting with, my word count. And then once I've written, say like I write 500 words today or whatever, 1,000 words, then I'll write that number here and it'll automatically calculate what my total end word count is. And then here's my daily goal, which is basically just like what I'm starting with plus the 496 words. If that's not too many numbers for you, then congratulations. Yeah, so I have just found that I really like having a word count chart. I really like spreadsheets. It helps me to feel organized, especially in charge of quantitative things. Although I said before, like 496, 500 words is a relatively small goal for me as a writer, just based on like experience and everything. With Stormcloud, with Pitchfork, I found myself like on some of my best writing days, or even on like my kind of average writing days where I still wrote pretty well, I could write like 1,000 or 2,000 words, no problem. But like with this story, it's like a struggle to even break 500 words a day. So that's been interesting. I'm not sure if it's because I haven't quite hit my stride in this story, although I do feel more and more like I'm starting to get there. Like I finished September with a couple of days that, like I had one day where I wrote over 1,100 words. I had another day where I wrote 700 words. Another day, the last day of the month, yesterday, I wrote 851 words. So I'm slowly starting to get more and more days where I'm writing, where I'm hitting a little bit higher of word counts. But like altogether, I've just not been able to write huge amounts of word counts. And maybe that goes back to like not trying to put too much pressure on myself for output, you know? Like I just want to like, again, in establishing the writing habit, I want to get used to sitting down at my computer every day for a certain amount of time. I definitely do want to see this story through to the end. Like I want to write this full first draft because I'm really excited to like see what this story is going to turn into. And some things that I want to do with this story, I can't really do, or I can't really know how I'm going to do it until I've written the whole draft so I can kind of play with it. But yeah, it also could just be that this is just a story where I have to crank it out a few words at a time, and like that's perfectly fine. Every story is different. Every story you have a different sort of writing approach. You know, you might have your own personal approach going into it, but as you work with the story, you realize, oh, I actually have to kind of adjust the way I'm going into this because this story requires something different from me than what I was giving it. So my goal for today is technically about 2,000 or 20,000 words, or 20,500 words about. I really want to hit 21,000, which requires me to write about 1,400 words today. Now that'll be the highest word count I have had for this story ever since I started writing it. I did have one random day back in March where I just wrote like 1,100 words in a day. And that was one of 3 writing days I had the entire month. And I don't even remember this like at all. I don't remember that at all. That was like a week before we all went into quarantine. So yeah, that's just a blur of a time, man. So I'm trying to hit 21,000 words today, 1,400 words. We'll see if it happens. If it doesn't, it's okay. I just want to at least get to 20,500. Yeah, so I'm going to play around with my story notes for a little bit so I can see like kind of where I left off, where I'm going to pick up, and like what some of the next things are to happen. I'm trying not to think too far in advance in terms of like what the next like several scenes are. I'm really taking it one scene at a time. I didn't realize that 2 of my characters had a certain type of relationship. Like they're just really wonderful friends. And I didn't know that about them until I wrote that scene, and like these voices just came out of them. These interactions just came out of them, and they were like so comfortable with each other. And I'm like, wow, Well, I guess that makes sense. They've known each other for decades. I stopped yesterday in the middle of a scene, and now there's going to be a feast tonight, and there's a band playing, and the character whose perspective I'm writing from is in the band, and so I'm not totally sure what I want to happen with this feast. I'm feeling like something should happen, dramatic or bad, and I haven't quite yet figured out what that is. I have a couple of ideas, but one idea I think I'd like to save for a later chapter. So I'm going to get to it. It's 10:28 in the morning, and I want to start my day with a writing sprint. But first, I'm going to play with my notes for a bit, and then I'm going to do probably like a 30-minute writing sprint, drink my Darjeeling tea. Is it Darjeeling or Darjeeling? Do you hear the difference? Darjeeling, Darjeeling. A great start. My timer went off for my, I should just set this down. Hold on. My timer went off for my 30-minute sprint. I still have like another timer going that I had set for an hour and a half way before that timer went off, just for the whole writing session, and that's got 13 minutes left. Anyway, I've written 700 words so far, so we're off to a good start, and I still want to get a few more words in, or at least kind of get to a good point in this scene where I can either figure out, like I'll know what's going to happen next, or maybe I won't even know what's going to happen next, but I just write down what I do know is going to happen next before I forget it. And then I'm starting to get a little hungry. I want to go get lunch out somewhere. I'm not even sure where. But yeah, and I want to go to Barnes & Noble. Anyway, I have a few minutes left. I want to maybe at least get to 2,500 or 20,500, which is another 128 words. So I'm going to get to that. Alright, folks. Okay, I didn't hit 21,000 yet, although I am less than 200 words away, but I sort of got sidetracked, like Google mapping a place to eat lunch, and let me tell you, I found this place that like specializes in like different kinds of French toast and like other breakfast things, and it's open, and so I'm like really excited now all of a sudden. It's like 25 minutes away. So it's fine, and it's right next to a Barnes & Noble, a 2-story Barnes & Noble. I wrote exactly 1,200 words. I actually wrote 1,199, but then I'm like, okay, I'll just write one more word. And so I literally have a sentence. The last sentence starts, tonight, comma, I. That's like part of dialogue, and I didn't even say what happens after that. It just says, tonight, I. Because if I write any more than that right now, it won't be 1,200 words exactly. Not that it matters. I still have 200 words left to hit my goal for the day, which is great because I may do some more writing today. I probably will, obviously, so I can hit my goal. But on the other hand, I do want to do some other things today besides just writing. So if I'm to have time for those, then I gotta make time. I think, are you ever just like talking, and in the middle of talking your brain just like tunes out or like gets distracted or moves on to the next thing, and so your mouth is just left like, what the hell, man, what am I supposed to say next? Outfit of the day number 2. Woo! Okay, you may be wondering, oh my gosh, is she a diva or something, like doing all these outfit changes? No, so here's what happened. First of all, I don't like to wear clothes that I've been out and about in inside the house. That predates coronavirus. That's like my mom's rule growing up. So like no sitting on the bed, no shoes in the house, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but while I was at the restaurant, I spilled my iced tea. Like I was picking it up and I forgot that I had a straw, and like basically poured it all over my lap. I figured I would show you my closet. So I decided to do this thing where I'm very familiar, I think, with most of my clothes. So like, I decided to put my closet in rainbow order. So I'll show you that now. So here we go. Got so these are all my clothes that are like really long. Okay, like dresses and kimonos and my overalls and stuff. And then we have pinks to reds, orange, all the way down. I don't have a lot of purple. I have a couple of purple things here. I just thought that was really cool. So we'll see how long I keep this up. I figured I'd do a tiny little haul from what I got from Barnes & Noble. So for myself, I got this sketchbook, which they didn't have like a whole lot to choose from. And then for my boyfriend, I got this, he was very like not picky. He's like the least picky person when it comes to like specific types of things. So it's like you ask him what he wants and he's like pretty open-ended or pretty open-minded. So I just got him like a yellow notebook. I'll let him open it. And then the third book that I got was this one. What It's Like to Be a Bird by David Allen Sibley. Those are the books that I got today, minus the other one that's a gift that I'm not going to show. It's 410. Oh, okay, I have to write 200 more words of not Stormcloud, of Hotel Story. I have to, or I would like to. Oh, I have a thing. I have an agenda. I forgot. I wrote all this stuff down. Sydney's Creative Day plus October Day 1. Okay. I have to change my plant's water. Yeah, it's looking kind of brown. Yikes. Okay, I'll do that at some point. Barnes & Noble did that. Lunch did that. Oh, London Grammar's new music video came out for Californian Soil. I don't remember if I mentioned that. I think I'm going to work on the next couple hundred words of my story. Try to get to that 21,000 words and then just kind of put the story down for the day while it still feels kind of fresh, but not like I'm not burned out or anything. I hit my 21,000 and I'm actually at 21,032. So that means I wrote a total of 1,415 words today, which is officially a record for this story. That's the most I've written in one day. I'm really tired right now. It's after 5 o'clock. It's almost 5:30. And so I have, obviously the day is winding down, but I still have a few things I want to do. I was thinking now I would turn to music. I listen to a lot of music, okay? Music and like how I feel about it, I think is definitely one of the defining parts of my personality. I never had any interest in making music or anything like that, or being a musician or anything like that. I was in band in high school and middle school, and I enjoyed that very much, but it was never like a thing that I wanted to do with my life or even in my free time. Like I never practiced my instrument at home. But, you know, I was listening to a song the other day, and the song was Cassette Beat by Babe Heaven. I was driving to work one morning and I listened to it. I must have replayed it like 10 times or whatever. And it just like listening to it felt like I was, I don't know, sitting on the ocean floor or something. Like it just was like so surround sound, so like deep blue color. That's like kind of the color vibes I was getting from the song. Anyway, I was listening to the song and I was like, oh, I could make music. And so I was thinking about it like all day. Like I would come home and try to find some like GarageBand alternative, because GarageBand is not, I have a Windows computer and GarageBand is not on Windows. So I'm looking for other alternatives and also free alternatives because I don't want to pay for it. Since this is like a fledgling hobby, like let's see what comes of it without me putting any money into it right now. So anyway, I found a program and I think I'd like to try out a couple other programs. This program I started using is called LMMS. Let's see, do I want to play you something that I made? I made a few like very, very short tracks. I'm talking like 20 or 30 second long things because I haven't figured out how to structurally make a whole song yet in terms of music. Eventually maybe I'll get around to trying to write lyrics and stuff. But I've never been much of a short form kind of writer. Like occasionally I write a poem or an angsty poem or something. But like I've never written, that's not true. I think I've written 2 songs, but they weren't like good songs. And they were more like poems actually, now that I think about it. But I have tried to write a song once or twice before and nothing really came of it. Anyway, this is totally just for fun. Just to see, just to, you know, exercise my creative bone. Okay, I kind of feel like that's like, that song sounds like the wind howling in like a storm to me in like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. Okay, like it's just weird. Okay, here's another one. I don't remember what these sound like, so I'm like clicking on these things and just playing them and I don't remember what they sound like. Here's one that I have titled Bassy Rock Song. So let's see what that sounds like. But it's just really fun to like play with these programs and just like put different instrument tracks on and like figure out what notes you want it to play at what tempo, and then put different things together and see how they sound. So this is a little bit of a track that I made in the LMMS. Whoops, sorry, okay. So this is what it looks like, this drum beat that you're hearing. So if I isolate each of these things, so like if I just isolate this, I started with this beat. Oh, that's my phone. Right? And then if we add in, let's see, the hi-hat, you can hear that kind of ding in the background. And if we add this in, I think this one I just pressed by accident. That's not actually in here. So that's what it sounds like when it's coming together. Okay, so let's see, like we have our acoustic drum set track. Let's see if we add another track. Where am I looking at? Okay, so if we go down here to instruments, they have some pre-built-in instruments and you can play them to see what they sound like. So that's the bass, an organ, a flute, a steel guitar, violin, trumpet, which goes on for too long. Hello, so it is the next day. It is Friday, October 2nd, and I just finished work and I went for a walk and I wanted to walk in the rain, so I have my umbrella here, if you can see it. And as soon as I came out here, like it had stopped raining, so like, gosh, don't you just hate that? All I want to do is walk in the rain and I can't even do that. But anyway, it's very nice and crisp out here. I've got like tights on. I don't know if you could even see that. And my boots and a rain jacket. And I'm feeling very fall-y. I'm definitely dressed for the fall. And I'm just walking around some trees and whatnot. Let's see, so I didn't exactly end the vlog yesterday. I figured I would just continue it for the next couple of hours or so since I'm now off work. Basically, so we did Inktober and the word of the day was fish. Today's word is wisp, by the way. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that yet. Can I just show you like the trees and stuff in front of me? Like they're so beautiful. Like look at that. It's so pretty. I'm not in the woods or anything. I'm just walking alongside a bunch of trees, but it's still just like so pretty. Hey, so it's like 5:40 something p.m. 5:45 p.m. on Friday, and I just wanted to kind of wrap up the vlog a little bit because I didn't end it yesterday. As you saw, I went for a little bit of a walk today, and I thought I would show you a couple of things. One, the picture of my comic thing that I drew. Now, I don't know if it makes any sense to anybody else, but I based it off of that idiom or phrase like that goes like shooting fish in a barrel. Like I think it means like saying something is really easy or something. And so this was my interpretation of that because like I said, the word of the day was fish. Can you see that? I guess I'll put a better picture up on the screen. But yeah, it's basically like a guy shooting basketballs, but then in the next panel he's shooting fish from an aquarium or from like a little fish tank into a barrel. And then he slips on the water, and then the janitor's standing there just kind of looking pissed. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else, but I really like it. Yeah, and so another thing I wanted to show you was index cards for Hotel Story. So I finally gave in and made some index cards for this story. They're not in order yet. I just kind of wrote them down looking at some scene list ideas that I had in my notes, and also just like some things I've written down in my notebook for this story. In this whole like kind of writing it one scene at a time, one chapter at a time, and not knowing exactly what's going to come next, I just wanted to I thought it was finally a good idea to do some index cards just in case like I get stuck, because that happened a few days ago where I just got like really stuck and I could not for the life of me figure out what scene I wanted to work on next, and so I ended up not working on the story very much for a couple of days or so. And so I made this, and just like basically if I get stuck I can flip through it and find a scene that is interesting or that could work coming next. I haven't actually used them yet in that sense because I ended up figuring out what scene to do next, and then I figured out like what the next couple of scenes after that were. Now I'm in the middle of a scene, the scene I finished off on yesterday, and I don't know how what I want to happen next within the scene. I know I want something to go wrong, like horribly wrong, but I haven't figured out what exactly yet. So I might take out my notebook and brainstorm a little bit, like a few ideas of what can go wrong. And of course, the key to brainstorming is that no idea is a bad idea. You write down everything, and then once you have gotten all your ideas out, then you can look over everything and start like assessing them for, you know, what value they could bring to the story. I do already have a few ideas of scenes that are going to come next after this, so I just want to get through this scene and then I can move on to the next few scenes. For the end of this vlog, I am at 21,105 words. I did write 2 paragraphs at the very beginning of the story, like the intro, the first lines of the story. I bumped those down and then added in a couple of paragraphs of basically a new first start to the story. Not because I didn't like what was there, but because I found a way to sort of lead into that a bit better. And so I didn't overthink it or anything. I just put it down and that was it. And we're gonna make a pumpkin pie. We're gonna make a pumpkin pie with ginger snap crust. Because I had this theory last year as I was eating the sweet potato pie I'd made for last year's Thanksgiving, that ginger snap cookies, like that flavor, would make an excellent crust for a sweet potato pie. And so I've been thinking about it all year, and I thought this was a novel idea. But then when I went to the grocery store a couple weeks ago, they already had a ginger snap crust, so I was just like, well, that saves me the work, because I really didn't want to make a crust. So it kind of reminded me of, like, you know how like the Mayans had their pyramids and the Egyptians had their pyramids, and they developed these pyramids completely independently of one another. Now, I'm not saying ginger snap crust is an idea anywhere near pyramid status now, but I'm just saying it's that kind of thing. Like, I thought of this on my own, and whoever developed that ginger snap crust developed it on their own. So we can both have our ideas. We can both have our pies and eat them too. Now I'm just rambling. I will see you in the future with another vlog. I don't know. I feel like I should just put this out there. I'm not going to be doing officially a NaNoWriMo of any kind of sort. I'm definitely going to write, but like I'm writing now, and I'm just going to try to keep writing until I finish this draft. And I know that that's probably going to take me through the rest of the year, if not the beginning of next year, because I'm taking it pretty slowly. So I'll be doing NaNoWriMo in a more casual sense, but not like in an official sense. And I don't know whether or not I'm going to vlog or anything like that. I will say that I really enjoyed my creative day yesterday so much, and I definitely want to do that more often. Now, I only have so much vacation time a year, but especially now, like with not being able to travel very often, I think I definitely want to do this again. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give this video a like, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo.